Hi, grade 3. Today's lesson is about quotations and parentheses. Let's go. What are quotation marks? Quotation marks they look just like this. Like this. These kind of marks you have seen when we read the story, right? In the reading textbook, you can see when people speak in the story, the words that people say are shown in this kind of marks. These marks we call quotation marks. So, what the quotation marks do? They show the exact words of a speaker in the conversation, in the dialogue. One more time. When you read a story and people talk in the story, the words that people say, the words that people speak are shown in this kind of marks, and we call them quotation marks. Look at examples. Amy whispered, "This movie is really scary." What did Amy say? What are the words that Amy said? She said, "This movie is really scary." So here we have the marks, quotation marks. Can you see them? "Will you help me?" my brother asked. As you can see, my brother, he said these words. Will you help me? He asked the question. Show it with the quotation marks at the beginning and at the end. My father said, "Working hard is important." Again, what my father said, these are his exact words. These are the words that my dad said. So we need to put them, show them in the quotation marks at the beginning and at the end. So these are quotation marks. They show the words of the speaker. Now, when we use in quotations, there are some rules that we have to follow. First of all, we have to use a capital letter to begin the first word inside the quotation marks. Every quotation marks, every time the sentence or the passage that someone says must begin with a capital letter. The words in the quotation marks must begin with the capital letter. Rule number 2. We need to use the comma to separate the speaker's words from the rest of the sentence. Again, we have to use the comma to separate the words of the speaker from the rest of the sentence. Rule number 3. We need to put the punctuation marks that ends the quotations inside the quotation marks. Again, we need to put the punctuation marks that ends the quotation inside the quotation marks. Now I will show you one by one. Rule number 1. Use a capital letter to begin the words inside the quotation marks. If it's at the beginning of the sentence, it's very clear. It has to be with a capital letter, right? The story is about a boy called James, said Maria. First, these are quotations. This is what Maria said. So, you will begin the quotations with a capital letter. But look here. Tony said he travels to New York for the summer. This is not the beginning of the sentence. The quotations come not in the beginning, the second. So, why do we begin? We have to begin the quotations with a capital letter. Here is the same. Jackie asked, "What did he think of his uncle at first?" Again, the quotations do not come at the beginning of the sentence, but the words in the quotations must begin with the capital letter. Maria replied, "The man looked scary." Again, the quotations do not come at the beginning of the sentence, but they must begin with a capital letter. Rule number 2. You have to use a comma to separate the speaker's exact words from the rest of the sentence. Look at the sentences. The story is about the boy called James, Maria said. What did Maria say? She said all of this. The story is about the boy called James. Now, this is the rest of the sentence. Here, I need to separate the quotations from the rest of the sentence using the comma. The comma will be inside the quotation marks. Look at this sentence. Tony said he travels to New York for the summer. What did Tony say? He travels to New York for the summer. Now, this is quotations and this is the rest of the sentence. I need to separate it. Where is the comma? The comma comes here before the quotations. So you can see when the quotations come at the beginning of the sentence, the comma must be inside the quotations. But if the quotations come the second in the sentence, the comma is before the quotations. Here the quotations are first. Here the quotations come second. Let's look at this one. Jackie asked, what did he think of his uncle at first? What did Jackie ask? What did he think of his uncle first? This is quotation. It comes second. We have to put comma before the quotations. Before the quotations. The man looked scary, Maria replied. What did Maria reply? The man looked scary. These are quotations. Now the quotations are first. So the comma goes inside the quotations. One more time. When the quotations are first, comma goes inside the quotations. When the quotations are second, the comma goes before the quotations. Again, when the quotations are first, the comma goes inside the quotations. When the quotations are second, the comma goes before the quotations. Then rule number 3, put the punctuation mark inside the quotation marks. Here we have a sentence. The story is amazing, said Maria. What did Maria say? That story is amazing. It's an exclamation. Please, the exclamation will be in the middle of the sentence, but inside the quotations. You cannot put the quotations like this and then put the exclamation outside. That will be wrong. Okay? The exclamation mark must be inside the quotations. Tony asked, what is the story about? You see the question mark? It is inside. The quotations come after them. It is inside the quotations. Jackie asked, what did he think of his uncle at first? Question mark, inside the quotations. The man looked scary, Maria shouted. Again, exclamation is inside the quotations. As you can see, here we are not using the comma. If the sentence is a question or exclamation at the beginning, we don't need to use comma to separate it from the rest of the sentence. We will use question mark or exclamation mark. No need for comma. Let's see how the rules work. Rule number 1, capitalization. I swim very well, said Penny. She asked, would you like to learn to swim? Do we have capital letters here and here? Yes, we do. We study fractions in math, said Jad. Do we have capital letter? Yes, we do. Do you understand the lesson? Asked Yahya. Do we have a capital letter at the beginning? Yes, we do. So, capitalization is working in here. Now, second rule is using comma. Don't forget the rule. When the quotations are first, comma is inside the quotations. When the quotations are second, comma is before the quotations. Quotations are here first. This is second part of the sentence. First, quotations come at the beginning. Where is the comma? Inside. She asked, would you like to learn to swim? Where is the quotation? Here. Second. They come second, not at the beginning, second. So where is the comma? Before the quotations. When the quotations are first, the comma is inside. And sometimes we don't need a comma. If there is a question mark or exclamation mark, there is no need for comma. Now, punctuation mark, like commas, like question marks, must be inside the quotations. Do not write them outside. One more time. This book is not mine, said Jack. Maria asked, where did you find it? Capitalization. Do we have capital letters here and here? Yes, we do. The storm is really scary, said Molly. Watch out for the thunder, shouted Becky. Do we have a capital letters? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Using comma. Don't forget the rule. When the quotations are first, comma is inside. When the quotations are second, comma is before. When the quotations are first, comma is inside the quotations. If there is a question mark or exclamation mark, there is no need for comma. Punctuation mark must be inside the quotations. Like here, exclamation, inside, not outside, inside, inside, like when you close it in. Let's go and practice, everyone. Add the quotations and comma wherever is needed. I like to study math, said Diala. What did Diala say? I like to study math. Very good. We need to put it into quotations. Now, do we have a capital letter? Yes, we do. What about the comma? Quotations are first. Where will I put the comma? Inside the quotations. Very good. Next one. Oops, sorry. Rafif said, my favorite subject is English. What did Rafif say? My favorite subject is English. Very good. These are the words that she said. We need to put them into quotations at the beginning and at the end. Now, what about the comma? Quotations are second. Where will we put the comma? Before. Very good. Before the quotations. Do we need to do punctuation marks? No need. Now, do you like science? Asked Sarah. What did Sarah ask? Do you like science? Exactly the same words like this. We need to put them into quotations. Up here and up there. Now, do we need a comma? No, we don't. Why? Because there is question mark. No need for comma. One more. This book is interesting, said Faris. What did Faris say? He said, this book is interesting. We need to put it into quotations. What about comma? When the quotations are first, comma goes inside. Next sentence. Mahmoud said, we read many stories in class. What did Mahmoud say? We read many books in class. Very good. Put them in the quotations. What about the comma? When the quotations come second, comma is before. Which story is your favorite? Asked Yusuf. What did Yusuf ask? Which story is your favorite? We need to put them in the quotations here and at the end. Do we need a comma? No, we don't, because we have a question mark. Quotation marks also indicate many kinds of titles, such as song titles and poems, and story titles and document titles. Boys, titles of the stories. We use quotation marks to show the titles of the story, or titles of the songs, or titles of the poems. Like here, you will have a look. We read the story, Me and Uncle Romy. See, that's the title of the story. I can use the quotations to show that this is the title. My favorite song is Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Perfect! It's the name of a song. I will put it into quotations. My sister always chants Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That's the title of a song. Put it into quotations. What are parentheses? They show explanation or examples that are extra informations. We will not have it in the book, just to show you that parentheses we can use to add extra information in the sentence. Like here, that song, written in 1996, is my favorite. This is just extra information. If you will say that song is my favorite, I will understand. But this gives me more information that the song was written in 1996. Some singers, for example Elton John, play the piano too. This gives me extra information, so we put it in the parentheses. The place we visited last summer, the Eiffel Tower, was the best. This gives me more information about the place I visited. Some inventors, like Thomas Alva Edison, did important discoveries. Again, extra information inside parentheses. We will not have parentheses in the workbook. So don't worry, you don't need to. It's just extra information. Let's continue in the second PowerPoint.